Hello, I'm just looking at the Menace demo that just dropped and I feel a little bit disgusted. I don't want to play it, I have a lot of doubts about it, and to be honest, I think we really need to save gaming by not playing demos. This will be something I'll insist upon in the upcoming months, maybe years as well, because we have a big problem. You know, developers will just make a project, tell people about it, have some influencers play it, and then have maybe a playtest or something, and then people would like it and play it with either a full release or a early access. But this has changed a lot in the last year. So kind of during the 2020 period, we had a lot of demos to play, and the biggest problem was those games never really came out. I mean, what's the point of playing a demo for a game that will never come out? It's basically a playtest that has a lot of disadvantages for the player itself, meaning you will stress your hardware, you will overheat your PC, you will encounter some game-breaking bugs, your computer might freeze. It's just very dangerous for your hardware in general, and trust me, usually these things, after you delete them, they will leave something in the files, and sometimes that something can affect your computer in the long term. I don't know. It might be better for us to not play any more demos, to be completely honest, because developers are abusing this to such a high degree that it's not even funny. What do I mean by this? So usually when a game releases, the developers remove the demo. What? The demo, back in my day, the demo meant demonstration for the game, which meant you had a full game, you gave the people a demo. If they liked the demo, they bought the full game. But no, this is so different right now and so messed up in a lot of ways. I mean, usually developers, instead of making trailers, because gamers have caught on that trailers mean nothing, so instead of trailers, a lot of developers, again, all ranges from indie to established studios to AA, AAA gaming, just released a demo, and the developers will say, that's a great demo for you to try to see if you like our game. But no, usually the demo is an older build, or sometimes it's even the full build. I've played demos of games, and when the game was released in either early access or full release, it was exactly the same as the demo. They didn't change anything, or they barely changed anything. So demos are just a way for developers for now to get either free playtesters, test the game in real conditions, which means you'll have some problems with your hardware, or it might, I don't know, it's just not worth risking your computer lifetime to be reduced by a few weeks or a few days or even a few hours every time you play a demo. So these are just playtests, and then developers will actually share that data and Steam will actually track it, which is a bit skewed because you're not thinking about this. You think, hey, if I play a demo, nothing bad will happen, right? Not exactly. The developers will use that as material to promote their game further. So I feel like we're being scammed over here. Usually these days the developers will make a demo, and if the demo is played by a lot of people, or if the demo is liked by a lot of people or influencers, developers will usually use that to their advantage to kind of pitch their game further away. So that means a couple of things. This means that usually developers will make a demo of a game that doesn't exist. They will sell the concept of the game as something that is real, and then it's basically Kickstarter. So you're just wasting time. Again, if you, let's say, pay 15 euros for a game, you might not feel so bad about it. But what if you spend 20 hours playing a demo? That's something else. That's something really messed up in my opinion. Because it's not only about the money, it's also about the time investment, your energy, your passion, your expectations, your hope in something good. I don't know, for me, for example, when I read the news about a new game being released that I might like, I'm happy. But when I read about stuff like this, I'm generally very, very annoyed, and I just don't want to play any demos. I'm kind of going out of this whole consumer culture as well, because again, when you play a demo, it's actually a playtest for the developers to see if they can pitch their game further to either a partner, to either a publisher, to either investors, or sometimes just even to friends, relatives, or just people who want to invest some money in it. This is becoming the real problem that is killing gaming, because if a demo is not successful, the game will not take off, which is another problem, because they think just because they have a great concept and the demo doesn't sell, that game will fail. Which is, again, it's so messed up and so skewed. I mean, it's so wonky skewed, like in Brain Over Matter, or what was that game called with the magic school sim? Magic over brains, magic over whatever, doesn't matter. So yeah, it's not a good idea to play demos, in my opinion. You should only play the demos of games that are already released, or games that will have a fixed release date. Because look at this list over here. So we have the new and trending demos. Guess what? They are Also, we can review demos as well, which is another messed up thing that is not really giving gaming a good look. And I think we have to stop stuff like this from happening. Otherwise, again, we'll end up in a vicious circle where games might not even be created because the demo didn't sell, or games that get created because the demo sold well. If you understand my idea, it was promoted a lot and people seem to like it. But that's just not consequential in my opinion, because you might end up making a game that is not loved by a lot of people, but they do it just because they had a lot of positive feedback and the demos interacted a lot of times, meaning play hour and so on. So you also have the Wall 2 demo, which again is a little bit annoying because I ended up playing the same demo for the same game 2 or 3 times during the 2020. I think 2020 was the year where demos came back, but I was so disappointed that even today, I think about 90% of the demos I played are not released, or the ones that are released are not good, even though the demo is very promising. So, would you like to play the same demo for the same game, let's say 5 times? No. Would you like to play a demo of a game that was announced a few years ago? Okay, let's take Menace as an example. Menace was announced, I think, in 2024 at the beginning of the year, more or less. It was rumored by the developers that it was going to be released at the end of 2024. Didn't happen. It was then announced officially that it will be released at the end of 2025. It doesn't happen. The game will release in February 2026. So are they just using the demos as a way to fight, the normal publishers and the normal gaming media? How should I put it? The journalists, gaming media journalists, or the corporations that run the mass media gaming news. I think this is just as worse, in my opinion, as journalists telling you a game is great when they know the game is bad. This is not going to be a representative portion of the game anyway. They also made a demo that was only available to the influencers for a long time, meaning it was available for, I think, maybe 2 weeks or so. And then they suddenly realized that people wanted to play the demo even more and more. Then they released it to the public, which again is a bit annoying because at this point they cannot even gather feedback because they have all of the feedback they can use or need. And it's just a marketing stunt, in my opinion, because you never know when they will release the game, and even if they release it, it will just be an early access. So how do you make an alpha? I mean, you make an alpha of a game, and then you promise a release date, and then that never happens, and then you say it will be happening at some point. It will be an early access release, and then you just release a demo of an early. Think about it. It just boggles the mind. You're playing a demo for an early access game that will probably take a lot of years to finish. And this game, the developer said it was in development for about 6 years or something crazy like that. So I'm not sure what's happening with gaming, but we need to stop. We need to stop behaving like consumers and just say it. Hey, you release a demo, then also it's also Steam's fault. I think if you release a demo, you should have a release date for your game. So this should be kind of like a contract with the developers between Steam, the developers, and maybe the publishers or something else, whoever is funding the game. If you release a demo, you have to have a mandatory release date. And the mandatory release date must not... Well, I guess they have a few rules regarding the release date, but still, they should make the developers stick to the release date. I mean, there's nothing preventing the developers from saying, hey, I'll release the game 3 months after I think it will be finished. So instead of, let's say, this game releasing in February, they could just say they release it in March because they want to have some time to fix some issues. But no, that doesn't happen. So yeah, I'm so bored of this endless demo that you play over and over and nothing really happens. I think I played a lot of these demos. Oh yeah, look at some of them. Again, the review system is so funny. So let's look at the top demos. Half Sword 2023 demo. Soundpad. Digimon. Menace. Menace is also the top demo for whatever reason, I don't know. Oh yeah, the Little Nightmares. Look at this. At least this one will release pretty soon, so if you play the demo, it's actually going to be even more representative for that game. It's also a game I bought and played a little bit, so yeah, you see it has a release date. It was already released, so I guess it stays like that for a long time, but this was, again, just a selling point for the game, and the developers actually said that the demo was great and 500,000 people wishlisted the free sample. I don't know. I think that oh yeah, and another thing. Usually demos were a different portion of the game. Usually a demo was the prologue or the introduction to the game. It's not. It was kind of separate from the game itself. Soulbound demo. So let's see if this one is released. I guess you have to look at all of. Okay. Yeah. You do it like this, you don't even know what you're playing. You're just playing a demo for a game that might not even release. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me and I'm getting kind of fed up with all of this marketing, excessive marketing, but what's even the point now? I cannot even be happy for a game because unless it releases, unless it's the release date, I'm pretty sure there is a huge chance of the game either being delayed or having serious bugs or not being playable in the first days or so. So it's not just me. I think a lot of people start to catch on very, very fast to this trend where developers are just using the demos as a selling point of something that might not even exist. So if you play the demo of a game today, that game might release in 3 or 5 or 6 years even. I don't even want to go through my wish list, but I distinctly remember a lot of games that I played 2 or 3 times. I'm also getting emails to play the demo again, like, what did you change in the demo? What's even the point? So I guess it's a personal preference, but I'll continue to mention this whenever I'm playing some games that might release or might not release. Bye bye.